and Ryan, and we know that you're dying to hear what we have to say today. I say we hear what we have to say today. It's the blank. Fill it in. Fill it in. Fill it in. Yeah. Here. Hello, Toronto. We did it. We're here with wine. Cheers. Cheers here. Yummy, yummy. Tastes like ass. Anyways, here is our new episode of The Blank. Thank you for joining us.
Man, you fucked up the young world, man.
No, not today. Because we're not young world today. We are upper class citizens today.
Really?
Oh, yes.
Why is that?
Because of what happened Monday.
What was Monday?
The Met Gala, sir. 18 and older.
Is that what it is?
Oh, you can't be a child going into that shit. They party harder, those motherfuckers. Like I'm talking doing lines of cocaine off of each other's assholes. Like they're going nuts.
That's the celebrity lifestyle.
Yes.
Okay.
But you know what?
Okay.
Just because this is the audience, let's reverse it back. Young world. This is Carlos.
And this is Ryan.
Why do you have to?
Oh, let's make sure they know,
This
man.
is The Blank with Carlos and Ryan. Thank you for coming to this week's episode, joining us. This is this week's episode with Carlos and Ryan, The Blank. I just had a brain fart. I had no idea what to talk about. But yeah, let's discuss recent events.
Well, first off, happy Thursday, everybody.
Yeah.
Happy Thursday. I know our last episode we were away from each other just because of conflicting schedules. We almost did it today online, and luckily Carlos made it out here because he's a gent and
I'm
scholar.
dedicated to my craft.
Damn
it.
That too.
I do it for the fans.
So definitely happy Thursday.
Yes, happiest of the Thursdays.
First off, before recent events, how was your day?
My day was all right. Well, I mean, not all right. Pretty busy work-wise, but that's life. Yeah, but other than that, I manage and I'm okay. And as soon as the clock hit the checkout time, I'm out. And now I'm here. Boom. How's your day, sir?
It was good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Super busy at work, I would say. I guess it was a really good week because it was like not so stressful and things were just kind of working out my way, which is pretty good.
Nice. That's nice. I'm so glad you had a less stressful week. You're not going to use the wine bottle, are you? Give me the wine bottle. Not so stressful week. What the hell do you need this for? The fucking hater. Anyways, yeah. What? Yeah. Go ahead. Finish with your thoughts.
But it was good. The week's been good so far. I'm excited for the weekend. That's for sure. I'm hoping everybody has something planned. I think this is like probably some of the last nice weekends I'm thinking. But I read something where like meteorologists are saying that we're supposed to get really good weather over fall. Like it's supposed to be more of a summerish fall. So good news for everybody. Hopefully patios stay open longer than usual and we can all get patios and shit.
Yeah. Fucking, and the anti-vaxxers will protest longer, but that's okay. It's all good, Hey, that's what happens when you close down the goddamn country or the world rather. But hey, yeah, it is what it is. But now moving on. Recent events. Dun dun. All right. So, I mean, we can talk about because what happened Monday pretty much pertains to our topic this week, but we'll skip over that a little bit then. In terms of elections,
yes,
that's coming up. I voted already.
Did you?
I did.
Congratulations. That's good.
Is that something to congratulate someone
Yeah,
over?
of course.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
So you're doing your part in society. I think it's great.
All right, cool.
Because I know a lot of people who don't vote, right?
Yeah, that's
And I
true.
guess like, you know, like I haven't voted yet, but I'm gonna go be out there on the 20th.
Yeah.
So reminder to everybody who doesn't vote.
You
If you
fucking infidels, you sons of bitches. If you don't love your country, then go fuck. You know what? I'm sorry. Go ahead with you. I'm sorry.
Get out there and vote. September 20th is the federal election day. I believe that you need your voter card. And if you haven't, I believe that you can register at the designated areas where you know, maybe haven't voted before or anything like that, but they do have the designated areas. I think it's elections.ca is
That's
like
right.
the main website for it. So please, I'm an avid voter.
Yeah.
Definitely go put your vote in for, you know, your community kind of thing, because that's realistically what it is. It's your society. And I know that people feel like, you know, voting doesn't really put too much, or their vote doesn't count, shit like that. It really does. Even though it's in the small fucking minuscule way kind of thing, but definitely get out there and vote. It's a meaningful thing, and you know, it's your future kind of thing. So definitely look into that. I definitely do recommend you go out and vote for sure.
And if you're against, you know, people that are in office that you don't like, don't go squaring up with them. You know, challenging the prime minister to a fight is never gonna really.
Yeah. Oh
that's
yeah,
never
that was
a good
part.
look.
That was in the news, right?
Yeah, it was in the news. So
Stupid
homeboy, yeah, it was just challenging the prime minister of the country to a fight. What's up right here, bitch? What's going on, bitch? Huh? You're trying to put a vaccine in my system? No way, sir.
I thought even like the throwing of the rocks and all that shit.
That was ridiculous.
Fucking bad enough.
But it just gets like there's like no respect anymore. Like what that? He's still in charge of your taxes and whatnot. Chill, folks.
I know.
Is there like one like leader that you think that would have definitely like squared up with the homeboy if he got challenged like that?
I don't know the guy's name, but probably the dude from the People's Party of Canada
would have been like, "Yo, what's up?"
He would have been like, "Yo, let's go.
Yo, I want all the smoke. I want all the smoke.
Yeah,
let's go."
I don't give a fuck.
Hey, he'd get my vote. Shit, trying to go at it.
Tells the security, he's like,
Yo, back up. I got. If any of y'all jump in, you're fired. Yeah. Let's go. He
seems like a dude, man. I don't remember his name, but he's definitely a hardcore
French dude, right?
I think he's French. He's
oui, bon
he's the weed smoke. He was a weed dude. Yeah, the weed dude.
The weed dude. Isn't the Green Party the weed dudes? But it's a female.
No, different one. So these guys, I think him and his wife owned a bunch of cannabis shops before it got legalized. And then I don't know, for everyone who doesn't remember, Toronto police went through a whole bunch of different raids when cannabis shops were still kind of opening up and the government was still giving people licenses and stuff, but it wasn't regulated yet. So a couple of his stores actually got closed down, and then I think like he was like, "Fuck this! I'm starting my own political party." I think. Shit. And correct me if I'm wrong. Please send us an email, shoot us a DM, whatever
Comments,
it is.
Like, please correct me. On YouTube.
I definitely can be wrong, but that's from my understanding. He had a whole bunch of weed shops that all got raided and was like, "Yo, fuck this! I'm opening up my own political party," and it is now the People's Party of Canada, where he's an avid weed smoker. But
I believe he's an anti-vaxxer.
There's a lot of anti-vax shit going on, and then I don't know if this is true or not, or if it's like fucking like cartoons that are being made to make fun of it. But there's a lot of like, I guess like quote unquote like white supremacy ads like going around in small towns of like the PPC being like, "Oh, it's okay to be white," and stuff like this, and like I don't know, a bunch of like, I wouldn't say white supremacy, but like it was like pro-white advertisements and
white supremacy.
There's nothing wrong with being white, but it was funny because like that, it was all over Reddit at one point where it was like pro-white stuff, and that's what the PPC, I guess it's like outside, that's what it's known for.
Wow.
If you don't know exactly what they do, because I don't know.
So this would air in like the predominantly like really white
areas?
Like
really white areas, like small towns in Ontario. I think that there was pictures or like posters going around of the People's Party of Canada. I keep fucking forgetting it, but it was like posters of being like, "Oh, People's Party of Canada, it's okay to be white," and then it would have like a white person on the page being like, "Wow." Yeah, it was pretty.
And then a white person walks by like, "Yeah, it is. It is okay to be white.
Yeah, I
This
actually,
man's got my goddamn vote.
I was talking about it today actually, with this gent and scholar, and he's actually a physicist major, which is actually pretty funny.
What the fuck? Where are you meeting this guy?
I was today.
You just met him out of the blue?
No, I've known him for a while. He's Alesha's stepdad, I think. Yeah. Yeah, so stepdad. So he's a physicist. So we're talking politics.
You just went to their
Yeah.
place.
No, we were out on dinner, but yeah.
Okay, continue.
So then pretty much I was talking about politics and I was talking to him about it, and he was like, yeah. So one of the things we're talking about is that they're actually gaining support. So they did.
I mean, yeah.
They did a phone call-in thing where they call into people and be like, hey, who are you voting for, kind of thing, like anonymously. So I think they called like 100,000 people in the GTA. And then back in June, so early June, they called 100,000 people and was like, okay, who are you voting for? And then I think they only had 1% of the calls.
Well, I mean, they're like in last place right now, no? Or
yeah, they're still in last place.
Or is it the Quebec Plaza?
I think they're in last place for sure.
Okay.
So they've been in last place. They had 1% of the GTA out of 100,000 calls that were placed. And then they did one early September, which was a couple weeks ago, and it jumped up to 6%.
Ooh.
And maybe it just could have been like skewed with the 100,000 people that they happen to call in that specific area. Maybe it was a smaller town or whatever it may be. And I'm not trying to like stigmatize like smaller towns, but
well, I'm just saying, if you live in a small town in Canada, you're probably a racist. So, I mean, I'm just saying, if well, let's say me and you go into a small town, we're getting stares.
I'm from a small town. Yo, Enmart.
Yeah.
Yo, shout out to Newmarket though.
Yeah,
Man.
okay. That's not a small town. Well, I mean, like, not even Newmarket. We're talking like, what areas are we referring? Well, you know, you get.
There's like places where we
if
have
me and
to go to the beach.
We're to go and shoot an episode of the blank in said area. There's no way we're not going to be interrupted. But you need to get out of our town, buddy. You're in the wrong town, pal. This is People's Party country. You know,
I would hope not.
Yeah, well, it's gonna. It would happen.
It could happen.
That would be an interesting episode. You need to consider.
I think we need to do that.
That would be that would gain views.
Petatanglish, Ontario. We're heading to you.
Coming to you live soon to a town near you. You racist mother. Anyways, but yes, moving on to voting. Please do that.
Yes, definitely.
Voice does count.
Monday.
20th. Monday. They should promote like that. This Monday, vote for the political party with the Liberals, Conservatives, the Quebecers, and the Green Party.
Do you think if we made shirts with like the two political leaders, like a shirt like the WrestleMania shirts, they would sell in Canada? I would wear.
I'd say
that'd be pretty funny.
So
that'd be like it'd be a comedic shirt.
I think if it was like if it was two leaders that were like really, really going at it. Because right now, these two leaders, well, Justin Trudeau is the only one that's really kind of gaining the Conservatives guys, it seems kind of black.
Aaron O'Toole.
Yeah, that's his name. But, well, you know, Justin Trudeau versus Jagmeet Singh, that might
that'd be a good shirt. That'd be a sick shirt.
You know, just
hell yeah,
ding, 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 ding. Yeah, that would be an interesting.
I know we're not American, but like a Biden versus Trump shirt probably would have been.
That would have been dope. That would have been. You just sell it out there.
The Americans write this stuff down.
Yeah, man. We're making $1 million ideas over here. Consider it for your next election. But yes, Canadians, all you Canadians, if you have problems and you want them to make sure that they are addressed or fixed, look for the correct party to vote for said party, and make your voice heard. Go Canada. Go Canada. That's what all the People's Party in the towns, in those small towns say. But yeah, go vote. In recent events, Canadian legend, comedian Norm Macdonald passed away.
Yes, rest in peace.
Yeah, man, dude. I was watching some of his videos. He is like cancel worthy, but he was a really fucking guy, man.
Really?
Oh no, he was not cancel worthy per se. His jokes were like pretty out there. Yeah.
Was he on SNL?
He was on SNL for quite some time, man. Yeah, but no, like legend, man. Honestly, like even like some of his interviews is like some of the best like talk show interviews, like the funniest ones I've seen. But shout out to Norm Macdonald battling cancer.
61.
Yeah,
right?
man.
It's young.
He didn't even tell his family that he had cancer.
Really?
He kept it to himself.
That's some G shit.
That is some jeez.
I think that's how I'd want to do it, man.
That's really? Just hide it? Because I imagine there would be like anger from your family for not knowing. But at the same, oh, well, yeah, I guess you wouldn't care because guess what? You're dead.
Yeah.
I'm dead, so I don't have to
check
deal
you on
with
the
that.
other side,
Yep.
man.
I'll be here waiting. Don't care.
Yeah.
Want to know why? Dead. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. But still, man, fuck. I don't know if I'd be strong enough to hold that shit a secret, you know? That's a lot. But hey, man, you know, he lived it. You know what I respect about him is that even with those jokes that are risque, because he lived with it for like 9 years, he was still living, he's still saying these jokes while, you know, living with cancer, knowing full well that you didn't have long to live. So he's just like, it makes me, you know, realize that like, dude, life is too short to stress about all these little things. So if you're gonna make a joke, just make the joke. If you're gonna fucking, you know, just do what you want, man. Live your life and live without no regret because life is short.
It is.
So keep that in mind, folks. Young world.
Look out for our morality and philosophical episode coming soon. I think we've done a couple segments on like death.
I never agreed on something like that. I
love that stuff. So
oh Jesus Christ.
Good
But yeah, rest in peace to Norm. It's a message to everyone that life is short, man. Just live it.
yeah,
Love it.
Norm.
Do what you gotta do. You know? That's that. In other news, I think this is something that has to be addressed. It's really important to me. I don't know if you're aware of it. It's I just want to take this time to be serious for a moment. Oh, is something okay?
We're good.
Okay. Yeah, it's important to me. I felt that it was something that I couldn't handle much longer. Your brother won't stop talking shit about me in the comments. So
we can block him.
no, I don't want to do that.
Can we
No.
block?
No. We won't block him. He's too young. He will need to understand that, you know. Listen, I want to go on record here. Hunter, you and I, we go way. I literally knew you since you were born. Hunter.
We knew each other before he was born.
That's right. Hunter, we go way back, kiddo. You and me, we're here. All right. You know, I'm just gonna say it. I love you, man. I do love you, Hunter. I want nothing but the best for you, and I wish nothing but the best for you. But you're an annoying little shit, and I don't care who the fuck you are. If you keep fucking coming at me, I will. Don't get it twisted. I will fight a pre-adolescent child. See me, bitch. I don't care, motherfucker. No. Hunter. Fuck you.
See what you did?
Moving on.
Okay.
All right. That's all for that. I guess this will lead way into our topic, but Monday, the Met Gala happened.
This last Monday. Explain to me what the Met Gala is. Why is it important?
Okay.
And why do people go? Because I have no idea what this stuff is. I'm not in social anything.
Okay.
So please let me know, please.
You know what the Met is, though?
No.
It's the museum in New York City.
Okay, got it. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so it's a very, very large museum in New York, and every year they hold the Met Gala at this event. It is hosted by a businesswoman and I guess fashion design. I believe she's a fashion designer. Don't quote me on that. Anna Winter.
Awesome.
She's been running the thing for quite some time. The thing's been running since like 1948 or 1943.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it's been for a while. So basically, it's this event where the these celebrities are hosting this. Anna Winter is hosting this event for celebrities that walk in. That they have an event every year, and it's a different theme. So celebrities would dress up in said theme. So it could be like a political thing. It could be like animals night. It could be superheroes night, so they dress up in very, very expensive clothing and designs done by Gucci, by Virgil Abloh, those
Wow.
big time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So
huge.
yes, so they dress up in these said things in the theme that is mentioned. And these the biggest of big celebrities are the only ones that are invited ever. Like you cannot buy
So it's
tickets for
only
this event.
celebrities.
Only celebrities,
Okay.
or like big time rich. You have to be like either hella rich or famous
Okay.
to get into this event. And it's invites only. You cannot buy tickets to this event.
Oh, really?
Oh no, you cannot.
Interesting.
Absolutely not. It is strictly invite only. So if you're rich and you're famous, you're in basically.
It's one of those you have to know someone to know
Exactly.
someone. Okay, I got it.
Or you legit have to be known.
You got to be some
Yeah.
sort of celebrity
Big
status
deal. Yes, exactly.
wise kind of thing.
Yeah. So this year it was just I believe Jack Harlow went, Lil Baby went.
So even rappers go.
Rappers go. Oh yeah.
Wow.
Oh yeah. Freaking went Childish Gambino went last a few years back. Frank Ocean was there this year.
Oh shit.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they just dress up in this theme. It was a big deal. The one that got really big news is AOC. You know who that is?
Okay, I do know her.
She dressed up in an all-white dress, looking nice and whatnot. But when you turn around, the back says "tax the rich."
I can tell by your face that
Why are you
something.
going to a party filled with rich people that says this? That makes no fucking sense to me, sir. I'm not gonna go to a fucking sorry, I'm not gonna go to a fucking baby shower and just be like "fuck them kids" on my shirt, or just like legalize abortions. That makes no goddamn sense. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, you have a point.
Like, what the fuck are you doing? Why you had all these friends be like, and you look, she 100% told people what she was gonna wear. You mean to tell me not one of them was just like, that's a bad idea. Don't
Did
do
she
that.
explain at all why she went?
I don't recall there being an interview for her.
I don't know why she would go.
Yeah, like,
That's just,
and she's rich herself. What are you doing? Don't do that. Don't be stupid. There's a time and a place. If you're gonna, I'm just saying, if I'm gonna go to a party where I have opposing views with almost everybody there, I'm not going. I'm not gonna go. That's just me.
somebody please message us and let us know why AOC went to this party, because I would like to know. That's an interesting. That's an interesting thought. That's an interesting concept. I don't know, like maybe to start conversation. I don't know.
Well, I mean, why would you want
how-
to? Like, I get you're gonna attract attention 100%,
It's like a internal protest kind of thing, like a sit-in.
but still,
I don't know.
AOC is still defending her dress. The medium is the message, is what she says.
The medium is the message.
That's what she says on her Instagram. And then it also says the time is now for childcare, healthcare, and climate action for all. And yes, before anybody starts wilding out, NYC elected officials are regularly invited to and attend the Met due to our responsibilities in overseeing our city's cultural institutions that serve the public. I was one of several in attendance. All I'm saying is I'm there to get drunk and fucking hammered. I don't fucking care about the healthcare. Yeah, asshole. Yeah, man. Fucking. I'm trying to get, I'm trying to go to a washroom with a famous chick and get a pile driver and shit. I don't fucking care for healthcare and childcare right now. Imagine you fucking, getting your dick sucked, and then all of a sudden she stops and she's like, "What are your thoughts on the fucking? What are your thoughts on healthcare, bitch? What the? It makes no like what the hell? I didn't even bust yet. You're gonna fucking ruin it and this shit. I would lose my erection entirely. That's all I'm saying. There's a time and a place. AOC, I understand where your heart is. She means well. She seems like a nice lady.
Like a far left liberal? Is that what people consider her?
Well, they consider her left wing. I don't know if she's far left. I believe.
So I would think left wing.
Yeah.
If you're trying to tax the rich.
Oh, 100%.
But
I don't know.
Is it like extreme left? Like, is that what her like?
The article
political
that I just read described her as far left. I don't know. I don't believe she would fit in that category, because I know some pretty far left motherfuckers out there, and they are. Are you really considered far left? Really?
that way.
No, you aren't. No, you
Wait,
aren't.
where's the left?
You,
Lefty
you,
that
you
way?
definitely have some conservative thoughts, and there's no fucking way. There's no way. We're not gonna get
I'm a
into it now.
full blown
Fucking
racist.
full blown motherfucker. You voted for the People's Party.
These Cambodian people, oh, man.
So they gotta
God.
go. They gotta go. They gotta fucking go.
Oh my
Oh
God.
Jesus. So this ties into our topic this week, Met Gala. Who parties on a Monday though? That's an odd day.
I partied on a Monday.
Well, that goes into our topic today. Partying. Ladies and gentlemen, parties,
So the thing about this
soirees, shindigs.
Box Social,
Why do you take the fun out of everything?
Box Social.
God. Anyways, yes, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say. So the thing about today's topic is that we had somewhat of a topic in mind for last week for this week. And Carlos was like, you know what, I want to talk about this, and I think that it fits right into the role. So I'm excited for today's topic. I think it should be a lot of fun to talk about. We're probably going to talk about our experiences in
Or war
relation to
stories.
partying. When's the first party, things like that, your first drink, all your memories, kind of thing in relation to partying. And then like now that we're sort of grown, well, I would consider myself somewhat grown than 5 years ago, but partying now. And the thing about it is that please, the conversation's always open. Please hit us up, shoot us an email, send us a DM. We would love to hear your war stories or your horror stories in relation to it, because I know that we have some, that's for sure. But yeah, to start off, Carlos, what do you want to talk about first in relation to partying?
What do you consider yourself as like what type of person are you at the parties? Take your time, take your time.
I don't know, man.
What?
I really don't.
Really?
I try to read the room as much as possible, but it really depends on how many drinks I have.
And that, mind you, that's before even going to the party.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, boy.
I'm a mess, man. You can't
No,
take me to
it's-
no. You can't take me to any party.
I hear that. I hear that. What do you think is like the? Why do you say you're a mess? What do you think was the worst you've ever? You think what was the party where you either the next day you either remembered or you were told that you really embarrassed yourself?
Oh, it was definitely back in high school.
Uh-oh.
I wouldn't say it's recent, but for my good friends that happen to know me or that were at that party with us, that was one of the most fun times I've had in my life, even though I only remembered the first hour.
Wow, Jesus.
Because I was definitely blackout the rest of the night. But it was our homeboy's party.
Yeah.
I think it was a Halloween party because his birthday's around Halloween. And I don't believe that you went.
I was working that night.
Unfortunately.
I was working that night.
I do remember that because I remember.
And I even drink that. I didn't even drink then.
Yeah,
we'll get into that later.
Like 15, 16
Yeah.
or something like that.
I was responsible.
But
Boring.
I had a 2-4 of tall cans somehow. Wink, wink. And we went to this party, got super hammered. There was a whole bunch of people there, all my high school mates. And I don't remember half of it, but there was pictures and there was rumors and there was stories that all went throughout high school.
What was the worst one you've heard?
I think pretty much where they found me was at the side of the house, just like yakking my brains out, and it was only like 11 o'clock. And then I'm pretty sure I fell in my puke while outside, and it's October, so you're it was cold.
Yeah,
at
it was
the
a
point
little
in
bit
time.
chilly.
It was a little bit chilly.
Yeah.
So I was in a t-shirt, and then my pants were falling down. So then my lovely fucking boys that were at the party, love you guys to death, they picked me up, walked me through the party with my pants down, like me like this on my side.
Jesus.
Threw me in the bathroom, gave me water, tended to me the whole fucking time. Yeah, and I just spent literally half the rest of the night from 11:30 until 2 or 3 in the morning, just yakking in a washroom. It was great.
My favorite moment about that was when I came to school on Monday. they showed me videos. And
Oh, yeah.
one of my favorite moments was you were legit blacked out in front of the toilet, like literally laying on the washroom floor. And the guy, shout out to our boy David, he was recording the video of you. And then all of a sudden he's like, homeboys forever.
See, the ridiculousness that happens at these parties and partying in general is madness. So I would have to say that specific party, for those who were there, you just had to be there.
Yeah.
I think that was kind of like my worst.
That was your Project X.
That was my Project X internally. I think we were 16 or 15.
Yeah.
I probably drank 10 tall cans to myself at 16.
Yeah.
Which was probably realistically only 4 because I probably only drink that much. But I thought it was 12. Took a whole bunch of shots and I don't remember anything else after that. So
God damn. Yeah, I was working that night because I didn't really drink much, so I didn't drink until like I didn't drink until grade 12 graduation for Wasaga.
that's wild.
Yeah.
That's super wild to me. So for those who don't know, and I'm sure that for the people who live in Ontario that are listening, that you live within the proximity of Wasaga Beach. Wasaga Beach is the graduation hub party
central for high school.
Central town, Collingwood, Wasaga.
For all you creepy adults listening right now, you fuckers, relax. Take it easy.
Yeah. You're too old.
You weirdos.
But when we were in high school, when you graduated, you went to Wasaga Beach, you rented a cottage or an Airbnb or whatever it was at the point in time. And then you would just party and drink and do stupidness.
Make it wild.
Yeah, and streak down the street.
Yeah.
I think
You did not streak down the street.
Okay.
You did not streak down the street. You did not streak down. Did you actually streak down the street?
No. No, definitely not.
Fuck. Wasaga was something else. Had me from a few beers. Didn't black out.
Few beers.
Yeah, I didn't go crazy. I weaseled my way in, you know what I mean? I took my baby steps. That's all. I didn't want to get too much wild, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, so wait a second.
Yeah.
Throw me the worst story because you heard mine now.
Yeah.
And you've known about mine, but everyone else is hearing about mine.
Yeah.
You have to throw the story in that equals mine.
Okay.
Or tops mine.
Yeah.
Please.
I can't. Moving on. Okay. Well, I mean, the one that comes to mind is when I had a birthday party. We went to a hotel. We were just chilling there. And I decided we go to a strip club.
When was this?
This was when I turned.
Was I there?
You were definitely there. No, you were only 19. You relaxed. This was years ago.
Oh, were you 19?
21?
Oh, okay. I remember this.
We went to Brass Rail. Shout out to Brass Rail. I just want to go on record.
That was a lot of
Mom
fun.
and Dad, if you're listening, you know by now. I'll get my whoopings later. It's fine. Brass Rail, one of the best strip clubs I've been to in Toronto. Probably the best strip club I've been to in Toronto. I don't go to many, so if you have any suggestions, don't fucking put it in the comment section. DM me like a motherfucking man and let me know. But other than that, yeah, Brass Rail, incredible place. You know, the strippers were actually really friendly the night that I went. But even still, we'll move on along with the story. I got really wasted that night and I smoked a joint too. So I'm just, no.
It was illegal back then.
It was illegal back then. I lived in those days. Oh my God. Shake
For
my
those who are-
motherfucking head.
For those who are listening, that
I committed a goddamn crime.
you only knew that legalized weed is existence.
Yeah.
Weed wasn't legal at all times, so.
We were breaking all kinds of rules because we were degenerates. No pun intended. Yeah, I had smoked a joint and I'm like faded at this point. I'm just like feeling it. You know what I'm saying? Yo, I'm literally going down the street just like, you know, recreating the Thriller video and shit. Yo, I'm fucking hammered. I am like, oh shit, this is gonna be wild. So I walk in and I'm just like, woo! woo, let's fucking go. Trying, and I'm told to keep my voice down because I don't give a fucking shit. And so a girl comes up, she's like, hey, what's going on? I'm like, it's my birthday today. It's like, oh, happy birthday. You want to dance? I'm like, I have to check her out a little bit, do a little, let's, do I? And I'm like, you okay? All right, let's do this. And then should we go to the back room? And, she's dancing and I'm dancing too. I'm just like, I'm doing a little.
There's only a handful of dudes that get to lap dance and dancers with them.
And I'm just like, and she's just like laughing, like, oh my God, this guy's hilarious. And I'm just like, yo, what's going on? What's going on? And then, I had the at least I had the wherewithal to know that it was, it was a few too many songs. I'm like, all right, let's chill it out. I had fun, but I got to go see my boys to see how they're doing. And so I went back to my spot, and I'm sitting down, and the stripper walks past me, and she's like waving at me. I'm like, you take care now. But she had a good time. I had a good time, and that's all that matters. But we continue drinking because our waitress. What's the issue with strip clubs? Why is it that the waitresses are always hotter than the strip clubs or the strippers? That's crazy to me.
It's got to be like a mentality.
It's insane. Like, I went to some some strip clubs. I've seen some beautiful waitresses. Beautiful.
Some beautiful waitresses.
God damn. Anyways, I drank more and I drank a lot more. And I'm walking, and I'm freaking floppy at this point. And, we go back to the hotel. I'm chilling. I'm still feeling a little bit good. You know what I'm saying? And everyone's like, Carlos, one more shot. I'm like, fuck it, man, it's my birthday. Why not, baby? So I take the one more shot, and yakking season arrived. I run right to the washroom, and I'm like, oh, blah. They're like, all right, Carlos, we're going to head out. You take care, and you have a good night, man. And I'm like, blah.
You just left him in the washroom,
yeah,
just to be clear.
And I'm just, yakking like crazy. I go to bed. I wake up with my official first hangover, and I'm fucked up. I'm like, oh, I'm like having chills and shit. I'm just, oh God. But yeah, very fun night. And that's just one of the story. I think the other one was pretty rough. Well, I wasn't drunk, but I was pretty high. So we go to our boy's birthday in near my place. And I haven't seen this dude in like forever. So we go in. And I'm like, hey, what's up, bro? How you doing? Happy birthday. And and I only took weed like a few times at this point. Like
I think we're like 20 years at this point.
Yeah.
20?
No, maybe even a little bit after. Yeah. Or maybe, yeah, a bit before.
I don't know. We were young.
Yeah. But weed I only done like a handful of times at this point. Like I wasn't really strong into it. So we go to the backyard, and there's these dudes that are doing like, we're talking strong ass bowls, like the strongest weed that they got, they have it, and they're doing it. So there's this one dude that had a fucking gas mask on him. And I'm like, holy shit.
Guys, ready for the apocalypse, man.
And I'm like, yo, what are you saying, dude? He's like, yo, man, you trying to hit? I'm like, oh man, I haven't done weed, dude. Like, I only done weed a few times. I don't know if I'm ready. He's like, yo, trust me, you're ready. And I'm like, okay, light skinned Jesus. All right, I don't know if I'm ready, but
I'm pretty sure. No offense to those dudes, because they're all great dudes, but I think there's a couple light skinned Jesus looking dudes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
100%.
They're all big potheads with his jokes as fuck.
So he puts them gas. He's teaching me the way. He's like, all right, brother, whatever you do, just inhale. Don't stress yourself out. Just breathe in, breathe out. You'll be fine. So we go in, and immediately he puts in the bong. He goes in, and I'm gas messed up, and I'm seeing everything, and I'm inhaling, and I'm coughing like crazy. Like my lungs are already outside of my mouth at this point. Like, bro, I'm seeing legit God at this point. Even white Jesus is even appearing to me at this point. And he's like, light-skinned Jesus just on the side, like, yo, don't worry, bro, you're fine. And I'm just like, okay, look, bro, I'm legit gonna see God in like a few moments if you don't get this mask off me. So I take off the mask, and I'm just sitting there like,
smoke everywhere.
Yeah, and I'm like, all right, I feel good. He's like, you good? Yeah. So he dapped me up. He's like, yo, you did great, man. You did good. I'm like, thank you, man. Thank you. What's your name? He's like, all right. And then he walked away. And I haven't seen him for the rest of my life. And so I'm fucking sitting there and I'm like, all right, this is great. This is great. And then it's not like a few hours go by before I feel anything. I'm like, all right, this is not too bad. And then it's near the end of the night and I'm like paranoid to the fucking T. And I'm like, fuck, I had to get out of here. My parents are gonna kill me. So we're about to go home. Ryan's driving the car. He's like, hey, all right, Carlos, get in the car. I'll drive you. And I'm looking at this like, no, I'm gonna get raped. I'm not gonna get in this car. So I started driving. I started running because my house is literally right down the street. So I'm running towards my apartment. I'm like, fuck, I'm out of here, man. And then Ryan's driving towards me. He's like, Ryan, yo, Carlos, Ryan, get the fucking car. What are you doing? I'm like, dude, they're gonna get me. He's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, I don't know. So he opens the door and I get in the car. I'm like,
I drove him like 200 meters down the street.
He's like, Carlos, you gonna be all right, man? I'm like,
oh my God.
I'll be good. And then I went home and then I freaking went to my bed in fetal position. And yeah, that was the other time I embarrassed myself at a party.
That was a great name.
Yeah, it was a solid.
Shout out to Diogi. I don't know if you'll ever listen to this, but shout out to you, man.
Cool.
Fuck, I hope you're doing okay.
Yeah, man.
God.
Hope all was well. But yeah, that's my war story.
That story was fucking dope.
Oh.
I'm hoping that our listeners can appreciate it because it was one of those situations where you just had to be there. Because aside from the gas mask, which is almost something I forgot, but I remember he like put it on and I was like, okay, man, like he's literally going to die. Takes it off and then it's like this fucking Mortal Kombat thing going on with fucking smoke everywhere. And then we're all like clapping and cheering him on and shit. And I'm sitting there like sipping on a beer. And then I remember we're about to leave and then I'm like, yo, where the hell does Carlos go? So we all hop in the car, and I don't do this anymore, but that was when we were young. But I'll hop in the car, and I start driving down the street just to go see if we can find this guy. And this guy is legit sprinting to his house.
For safety, of course.
So then we finally convince him to get in the car. I drive him 200 meters down the street, leave him as lonesome, and then went home myself, called him the next morning. I don't know if I'm pretty sure you're okay.
That was fine.
Yeah, he was fine.
That was fine.
But that was a jokes fucking story.
That was and I haven't done the ass mask thing since. But the weed, man. Oh dear.
The great thing about these stories is that it really puts into perspective exactly how we were in that mind state, you being young. Because at this point in time, everybody goes through that, like, you hit 19 and then you can finally start buying your own drinks, like instead of having like swindle your way around drinks,
right?
Weed's not so much of like a crazy stigma that you happen to have in high school, maybe, where it's like, oh my God, it's gonna murder me, like I'm not gonna get to college, I'm not gonna get to university, I'm not gonna do whatever thing, my parents gonna kill me, whatever it is.
Right.
At that point, you're kind of old enough to be able to kind of understand where you are in that point in time. And then still the ridiculousness shit that we fucking did when we were like 19, 20, it amazes me because it was kind of like,
we felt like we were invincible.
Yeah, you feel like you're an invincible person because there's nothing wrong. You're doing perfectly fine. And I definitely, we know of people that were at that point in time that, I've definitely not gotten as lucky as we were when we were invincible, but fuck, man, it's so cool reminiscing because, like, man, we were literally like gods or like Superman at that point. It was dope. It was so much fun just to be drunk and like just walking around doing stupid shit and like knowing that you had a care in the world. You know what I mean? Even if you had to go to class the next day, I was like, fuck it,
let's go.
Could care less.
Good.
It was great.
Live fast, die young. Oh shit.
Cheers to that.
Cheers to that, brother. Have you ever gotten into a fight at a party?
Not that I can think of.
Look at you, Mr. Positivity over here.
Probably.
Uh-oh. but you don't remember.
Like, are we talking about like a physical altercation?
A physical altercation, yeah.
No, I don't think so. I think there's been like argumentative things. Definitely. And like Wasaga happened to be one of them for the guys that are listening. I happen to know, and I do apologize for my actions because I was a young kid and immature.
You have to tell them now.
Well, pretty much me and one of our buddies at the time, and I wish him the best, and I know he's doing well, so I hope you're doing well. Fucking great. But in this case, we got into an argument about some stupid immature shit, and I took it too far.
I believe it was because he invited a stranger into our home, and you got a bit upset over that.
We had a cottage, and some strange dude walked in, and you're partying, and realistically, you shouldn't care that much because it's a random person.
Right.
But I got defensive. I've never seen this dude. I've never met the dude in my life, but he's in our cottage. I'm like, kind of, who the hell is this?
Yeah.
So I get defensive. I have a huge ego at this point. I'm young. I'm dumb. I take it too far. We get into a huge argument. And now me and him are no longer friends, unfortunately. But those are the small petty arguments that I got into when I was younger. And I remember probably getting into a bunch of them being at parties. But it's like, no, I can't remember any physical altercation. What about you?
Once.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't see that.
I haven't told any.
I would love to know.
I haven't told any of the guys this
story. I would love to know.
Funny enough.
Well, you're gonna tell us your podcast.
Of course.
So, listeners, this is a exclusive story that you're going to be hearing from Carlos Jose the very first time.
Oh Jesus!
I use your government name.
Yeah, it's fine. It's all
but
they're gonna know that
welcome.
Anyway.
Welcome to this because it is fucking story time.
So it was a Halloween party in like one of the York University homes. A buddy of mine that I used to work with, shout out to KB if you're listening. You know, congratulations on the marriage.
Shout out to you, man.
But I used to work with him. I guess he was trying to get me out of my shell because I was a bit of an introvert back then. So he's like, yo, I'm having a Halloween party, you should come through. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll come through. And so I remember coming to the door of the party and I knock and he's like, who are you? It's like, oh, I'm with K. And then before I finish the sentence, they slammed the door on me. I'm like, oh, all right. Like,
these motherfuckers.
Yeah, man. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? I'm standing there. I'm like, oh, all right, well. And then KB opens the door for me. It's like, yo, come in. I'm like, oh, thank God. I didn't want to come all this way and then go back home. So I went in and it's wild in there, bro. And there's like some of the hottest women I've ever seen in my life in this party, but they're like jamming in there. And then I'm chilling with him and there's these two girls that he brings. And I'm like, oh, hey, how are you? And we're talking the entire night. And then, excuse me. We start dancing and to the music. I'm enjoying the music and whatnot. And one of the girls is like dancing and he's like pushing me towards her. I'm like, oh, what are you doing? I don't know if I'm, and he's like pushing me and he pushed me. So I started dancing with her. Nothing came over it and relaxed. So we just started dancing with one another and we had a good time. So overall, the party had to be stopped because the police came. Oh shit. And there was like noise complaints. I'm like, oh shit, this ain't good. So we go out. And we waited outside for a bit and the police eventually left. And there was this one dude being disruptive as fuck. I'm like, oh, what the fuck is going on? And I think he might have either was screaming at KB or he took a swing at him. I grabbed the dude and I'm like, and he's like tussling with me. So I'm like fucking shaking the guy. And then I just slam him to the floor. His head hit the concrete. And I'm like, oh, I went too far with that.
Carlos is a big dude. Mind you guys.
All right.
For those who don't know, maybe only listen to his voice.
Okay.
I know he has the voice of an angel.
Almost choked.
I know he sounds like Omarion.
Oh, no.
But
all right.
If you watch our YouTube videos, you know this guy is a big dude.
Okay.
I'd be scared as hell.
All right.
If I were to fight
anyway,
any physical altercation.
I'm not trying to get all these dudes challenge you. So I heard you're a big man. I'm like, no. Jesus. All right, Don King. Is there anything else you'd like to say? So yeah, I felt his head fucking hit the concrete. Oh shit, I went too hard. And then you could see a little bit of blood leaking out, like, oh no. But he was okay though. Like he was moving and shit. He was conscious. I'm like, oh, thank God.
Oh, he's moving. He's, right.
Moving. He's all right. And then someone's like, oh, call 911. And everybody is like, oh, fuck that. I'm not calling police. Fuck that.
He's splitting.
And I'm like, KB, what do I do? I'm like, dude, you need to go home. I'm like, okay. So I went home. And then I went into work Monday. I'm like, bro, what the fuck happened? He's like, yo, he's fine. Like, he's literally like nothing serious has happened. Like, he came up to me after and apologized. He's fine. I'm like, okay.
Well, after a hit to the concrete, I hope he apologized.
Fucking, he better be fucking Jehovah's Witness if he's gonna fucking disrespect my friends like that. Fucking guy. Anyways, but yeah, that was like the one time I got into an altercation. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
That is something.
See what partying does?
It is
a sin.
It is a holy sin. But goddamn, I'll sin and I'll sin again if I have to. Are you sick of clubs? I'm over clubs.
No, I would say so.
I'm over.
I would love to go to a club.
Really?
I would love it. I think there's definitely at our age now, late 20s, almost early 30s.
Bro, I can't take it anymore.
I would think there's definitely like older age clubs that would be fun. I don't know about like 19-year-old clubs.
Older age clubs, for me, the experience of an older age club is sitting down,
like a lounge.
Yes.
The lounge.
The lounges.
And then a dance floor for people who want to dance.
Exactly.
But it's more for thing. It's not like a crowded.
Exactly.
Okay, yeah.
That to me is the ideal club experience for where I'm at in my life right now. Back then,
yeah, that shit was.
I was all for it. Was there like a really good club that you've been to? Like, what is the best club you've been to, you think, in your life?
I have no idea, man.
Really?
I honestly, clubbing scene in Toronto is such a blur.
It's something else.
Yeah. I feel like every night is just a blur in itself. You go, you get dressed up, you pay your cover. You're already sort of drunk because you would have pre-drank at either a bar or you got a hotel or for whatever reason. You go, you dance, order some drinks, and then you don't remember the rest of I don't remember the rest of the night. I can't name 5 clubs that I've been to, but I definitely know that I've been to more than 5 clubs, It's just such a blur partying in Toronto, at least for me, because every night's just like a drunken, wild night.
Look at that.
And the thing about it is that I still see it to this day. I live downtown now. I only moved down here about a year and a half ago, but and you see it. The thing about it is that I see it every day. Like I'm 2-3 in the morning, I'll look outside my window and there's people yelling, just coming from the club down the street. And it's like, I remember how much fun that was, but I don't remember those nights, which is the crazy thing. So it's kind of, I can't even tell you which club was like real dope. Like I've been to a bunch of them. I had a lot of fun at a bunch of them, but I can't really tell you which one was my favorite. Like I do recommend clubbing in Toronto. I just can't tell you which one to go to. If that's kind of a way to look at it, but it is fun, like honestly. And I would say that lounge experience nowadays is more, I guess, our culture, our kind of concept.
But now it's like, well, now in the pre or the post-pandemic, I don't even know if it's post-pandemic or era, but I guess it's still pandemic. It's not even a thing anymore. We can't really have that experience because they don't allow dancing. It's literal footloose right now.
From my understanding, that like, no, not to snitch on clubs out there in Toronto, but from my understanding, some clubs are still going wild, man.
Really?
And even like during the pandemic, when I was working in the heart of downtown, I knew some clubs that got closed down because they would have like maskless parties.
Do you have any names of said clubs?
No, definitely not.
Oh, no?
Snitch.
Oh.
Ain't that 6ix9ine?
Stand by, boy. Stand by.
I ain't on that. But I'm just saying, it would have been hype. And I would have loved to have been there. So when we get big, I'm hoping that we get invited to these clubs.
Right. Host a few parties or so. That'd be nice.
But what about you? Do you remember going to any clubs in Toronto? Because Toronto clubbing culture is actually sick. It's actually a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's tons of fun.
Oh, 100%.
If you were willing to go
with a group of friends,
go. I recommend it, especially if you're young. Go
Mm.
experience it because Toronto clubbing culture is so much
For
fun.
sure. I think the best like club I've been to, I've only been there once, so I can't really say for sure. But for me, the best party slash club I've been to was it was a Halloween party at Luxy, so a slash birthday party.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I remember
that was
that.
a
That was
lot
a
of
good
fun.
night.
That was a lot of fun for me.
Shout out to the homegirl Jenny. I don't know if you ever,
Jenny!
I don't know if you ever listen to this, but shout out to
We
you.
had
I
a
hope
great
you're doing
birthday
well. Yeah,
party. That was phenomenal. I had a lot of fun. It was my very first time to Luxy, and I enjoyed it very much. It was a lot of fun. You know, it was my first experience in like a well, I don't want to say it wasn't my first. I guess it was my first club experience. And I went in there. I'm like, God damn, they're playing great music that night. Everyone's having a good ass time. And well, it was funny for me before we went because one of the guests there was like one of the guests before I went to the party when she was inviting me. Was like, "Yo, you should come to the birthday party, but wear a costume that you're gonna stand out." And I just remember thinking, I'm the only black person there. I'm gonna be the standing out either way. But either or, no, it was a fun party. You were getting too comfortable with that joke.
I'm the only black dude here.
I'm the only black person at this.
I don't know if
party.
you can, if you recognize
standing
this.
out is not going to be an issue here. That's.
I'm already taller than all of you.
Right. I'm bigger. I don't.
Sorry, go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt.
But even still, no, it was a really fun night. Got a girl to grind on that night,
which was huge back then.
Oh my god, back then. You know, I was getting dapped up by strangers like, yo, she was fire. Funny enough, I went to Humber College like a few years later. I ran into the same girl.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's wild.
She didn't remember me, obviously.
No.
But I'm
drunken nights.
Oh, yeah, drunken nights.
She's like me. You don't remember shit.
Exactly.
You just kind of do shit and sometimes. I'll throw it out there, but you know.
Oh, Jesus. Drink responsibly, kids, because then you just won't remember your nights. Like some people.
So the one thing I do want to talk about, because we've made it seem all fucking sunshine and rainbows for the last, half an hour that we've been talking about this, maybe 40 minutes. But the bad part of it.
Of partying?
Of partying, yeah.
There is no bad part.
You don't think so?
Stay cool, kids. Party hard.
What is the worst party you've ever been to? What is the worst time you've ever had? There has to be at least one or one thing that you just hated about partying. Like just absolutely hate it.
Oh boy.
There's gotta be something. I
mean, I don't want to diss people if it was a party that was hosted by other people, but
that's what I mean though. Like, is it I'm saying we're dissing people. We're on a podcast.
You know what?
Like,
I think it was actually the worst. I'll say the worst club experience I had. It wasn't, I wouldn't say worst because it wasn't terrible. It was just I wish I had a lot more fun. It was a birthday party of my own that I had.
Ooh.
Yeah. Not like it was like the worst, but like music wise, I wish they played a lot more. It was tough to party. Cause me back then, I wasn't really into the whole techno,
Yeah, which is huge in Toronto.
Yeah. But I wasn't really into that. I forget the name of the club, and I went to the club. I'm all dressed up, and I'm never gonna do that again. Dressing up for a fucking club, that's so annoying. I'm all dressed up. We get a booth, and the music's playing, and I'm like, I don't like any of this music. So I'm just sitting here drunk, just sitting there, just like, oh, this sucks. This sucks. I wish they played better music. And it looks like they're about to play like a hip hop song. I'm like, oh shit! So I rush to the floor, and I'm excited. And then they remix it with doom, 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 and I'm like, what the? Yeah,
that kind of shit.
I'm like, oh man. But yeah, that was probably the worst experience. Although it was fun before, like getting drunk in the hotel. The birthday gifts I received. It was fun before. The club was really nice. Got a kiss from a very hot female that night, so I'll give them that. But like in terms of music wise, yeah, that was probably the worst club experience I've been to. That was a party, I guess. And it sucks because I shared it with another friend of mine who's also having a birthday party that time, and I hope he had a good time. But me personally, I don't know. Music wise, I wish it was a lot better.
That's the thing about partying though.
Hmm.
Like just like going somewhere in general and then like expecting a certain amount of like standard to what you feel like your night should be. I feel like the younger generation, especially myself, like I used to do this all the time. Like, oh, you used to hype up the night and be like, yo, tonight's gonna be dope. It's gonna be so much fun.
Right.
This and that. Then you
Right.
finally get yourself in that position where you're like, okay, fuck, this night sucked. Or I fucking hated it.
Well, I mean,
Like it's literally the worst. And that's, but I believe that's part of partying and it's part of growing up and it's part of the experience that you happen to go through, especially in your early 20s. I'm not saying that when you're 30s and your 40s and your 50s, you can't party like that, but it happens at a young age. And it's kind of like we all have those bad experiences in relation to it, whether it is your birthday, whether it's somebody else's birthday, the person that hosted the party, whether it's the music in your case. There always happens to be some sort of like thing where you're like, man, that was the worst shit ever.
Yes. 100%. Well, I mean, it's just that, in terms of like the DJs, the venue itself, the people that are going to be there, you're not going to have everything live up to your expectations, right? These guys are not there they're there to entertain, but like to a general crowd of people who expect to, you just look at the freaking party card. If it says all hip hop and R&B, great, I'll be there. But if it's all techno and shit and you are expecting hip hop and R&B, you should have read the thing, man. You should have read the invite or the card. We're not playing that shit that night. So yeah, your night's not going to be all that great. But yeah, it's parties are I want to say complicated. They're really not. You just got to know where you're going and what type of clubs to look out for. So there's always websites. There's that website now. There's like that party website where it shows you like different clubs and venues and the type of music they play, the pricing to get in and shit. I don't know what it's called, but do research, kids. You'll fucking find it. Even still, like, what are you doing going to parties? It's a pandemic, you fucking idiots. Don't be going to parties. Like go to the curbside bars out here that play good music. There's a few of them. There's one right now that was playing Will Smith all night. You know what I'm saying? So just
party in Miami.
Yeah. Welcome to Miami. But yeah, man, just parties it's a matter of how you make it. That is what I've realized as I got older. You know what I mean? When it was me just sitting there, not enjoying the music, I could have easily just like went to the floor and still made a good time out of it, even if I didn't really like the music as much. It's just me just like, oh, this sucks. Well, even if I didn't even enjoy the music, as I gotten older, I've been to a bunch of clubs where all they played was techno. And I'm like, I'm not gonna be bored anymore. I'm just gonna fucking get drunk, wild out drunk, and just fucking have a good time. Which is the point. That's what parties are for. To have 100%. A fucking good time. Forget about your problems. To let out your the stress that you had that week. Fucking turn it into alcohol in the system and fucking turn up. Because that's what parties are all about. Right? Even when you were little kids, you had the stress of that week because fucking Goku didn't turn Super Saiyan yet. Fucking have your birthday party or go to the sleepover at your friend's place. Fucking take it out on an N64. You're fucking, that's the point. Parties. They're here to save lives. But apparently end them too, because shootouts happen a lot there. But stay safe, guys. Don't bring guns to parties.
Yeah, please don't.
There's no need for that. I went to a fete once. You know what a fete is?
I know what a fete is.
What's a fete?
A fete, is a fucking wild, and this is the way I prescribe it.
Yeah, go ahead.
It is a wild fucking gathering.
Yeah.
Where there's drinks.
Yeah.
And a DJ that's, and I could have this wrong, so please correct me if I'm wrong, but predominantly playing Caribbean music.
Oh.
And there's bubbling and sometimes fucking actual bubbles and soap and shit like that being sprayed in the fucking thing.
That depends.
Sometimes there's a all white fete where people all wear white.
You know what? I once asked when they said all white, do you mean like people? And I was a bit confused because that's when I heard about
all white
bubbling. When I heard about the bubbling and Caribbean music, I'm like, how does that work with all white people? Like, can you imagine all white people just,
They're doing
fuck it
the,
up, Rachel, fuck it up.
yeah.
But, just, I can't, I don't know. Anyways, continue with your, what is it? Go ahead with your
Well, I
experience.
just assume it's a party with a whole bunch of people and
And
some
they wine
Caribbean
pon
music,
music
and they
and
wine pony ting. That's what I'm assuming. I've never thrown a fet myself, so but
have you been to one?
I don't think so.
How do you not think you would?
I'm telling you,
definitely
everything,
know.
all of my partying is a blur. I'm telling you, I could have partied last week. I don't remember shit.
Jesus Christ. There's no way. Like, you would know when you go to a fet.
I don't know.
Really?
Yeah, I don't.
I've
I'll
been
say
to
no.
two.
I'll
I've been
say
to
no.
two. I've been to two.
And they're probably hype as hell.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's insane. I was not prepared for this. The first time I went, I'm like, holy fuck, I was not prepared. Like, dude, you got people fucking, those videos of
Dudes
those
lifting
dudes
up
lifting
people
girls
and
and fucking power bombing them, and then they fucking doing the whole shit. Like, it was almost just like that, but the choreography wasn't all there. But other than, bro, it was insane. It was nuts. There was just like, dude, just like.
It was definitely.
I'm like, holy shit. Wild. By the way, those videos, fucking legendary of fucking dude. Fucking bro. I seen one video, one dude perform the sweet chin music on the chick. She goes down on the floor, and then she just fucking does a flip up, and then she fucking does like a Rey Mysterio fucking hurricanrana, and then she just goes and they fucking do the.
You can tell by the amount of wrestling references that Carl's.
Bro, that's all it is. Fets down in the Caribbean, that's all it is. It's fucking professional wrestling. They can start their own organization and they'll still be set.
They would do well.
They will do very well. Vince McMahon is not looking in the right areas, is all I'm saying. He needs to go down to Jamaica and go to these fets and be like, holy shit, look at that girl. Well, that guy, I'm just saying.
Learning different moves from that.
Oh, right. Just saying. Those videos, top notch. If you guys haven't seen fet videos or freaking grinding and down in Jamaica videos, like, and I'm talking like those hardcore fucking picking up the most extra
swinging
people, fucking swinging across the club and then still chasing them as they're flying in the air and then catching them, and then those videos. Top notch. Y'all need to check them out on YouTube. Insane. But yes, I've been to 2 fets in my life. And wild. Both
I can imagine.
Wild.
I'm hoping that they still throw fets.
I only went to that one place. I went to the 2 times I went, it was at the same place, and they had to shut it down because of the shootings. But I mean, I'm sure they still throw. I don't know if they throw fets now, but I know there's like clubs that throw them in the Toronto
Gets
area.
back into the baseline of it. Don't bring a gun to a fet.
Yeah, it's not
Please.
fun. What's the purpose? I understand everybody has ops, but there's no need to freaking shoot. There's no need. These shootouts ruin everything. You could hurt somebody. You could hurt an innocent.
One question I have for you, because this is actually a personal experience that I've had. And we'll get into it, but have you ever been to a party where you felt out of place?
What?
Like you didn't belong
Yeah.
at that party?
Yeah.
Please.
All of high school.
Really? Like the
Yeah.
party of high school? Or are you talking about parties during high school?
Parties during,
Oh,
even a
okay.
little bit after.
Really?
100%.
Damn.
What? Are you serious?
I don't remember any of those. So like,
What the fuck? Yes.
but what? So why do you think that happens?
What do you mean? Why? I was the only black person there.
But even if you're the only black person there, it's still like
It is still noticeable.
okay. I don't know.
And even if I didn't want to bring it up, somebody else there would. Like,
oh, you're the only brother here,
Yeah.
man.
Right on. I'm just like, come on, man. Can I just neato? Like, 100%.
So how do you deal with that?
And even not even that, just the fact that I didn't drink either. That didn't that also didn't help my situation. Yeah, it's just I got annoyed because, you know, obviously being the sober one there while everyone is just like in a different state of mind. Don't. All right.
This guy.
It's weird. It's odd. It's a bit, and yeah, it's a bit annoying when people are just like coming up to you, you know, slurring the words, and then we're like, all right, okay, all right. And then yeah, I just, you know, I just wanted to leave early. I obviously wanted to attend because, you know, that's my friend at the time, and I'm there to support, you know, have a good time. But yeah, just
Close that window.
should I?
Yeah.
Where is it? I don't. Is it that loud?
Sorry, we're having some noise issues, but we're just gonna thank you. But yeah. So I think one of my experiences that I had when I was probably in my early 20s, still in that kind of party mode in itself, I went to one of my cousin's parties. And he has this beautiful, beautiful condo with two of his roommates, and there's good boys. And they used to have like these wild fucking parties in their condo, but all of these guys were like on another level if you were to put like social status to a party. So like when I went there, I'm like, oh, like I was meeting people, and like if you guys know me, I like to meet people, and I was kind of like, man, what do you do? What do you do? And the guy's like, oh, I'm a doctor, I'm a lawyer, high finance, banking. I just got back from Belize for a year because I've been out there. I opened up my own tech company, whole bunch of shit. And they're like, Ryan, what do you do? And I'm like, well, I kind of just pick up the phone and talk to people all day. But in that case, that was probably the one party that I actually felt really fucking out of place.
Wow.
But the best thing about parties is that what Carl said earlier, it's really what you fucking make it. You can go into any specific room, and I'm not even to get into like things like confidence, and to things like, you know, how you feel about your social status in relation to everybody else. But parties are really the place and time to kind of just be yourself, but to also kind of learn about people and kind of like just, you know, try different things or whatever it may be. So when I went, and I've had this rule when I go to parties like that, and I probably have only ever talked about this a couple times in life, but I had like this like 80-20 rule, and I called it the 80-20 rule whenever I would go to these parties, and I would ask questions 20% of the time or talk 20% of the time in these conversations, and allow the other person to talk 80% of the time, because of the type of party that it was, because I felt like you couldn't relate to these certain things. I felt like it wasn't my place to kind of be in, even though I was overthinking it 100%, because all those guys were there just there to do fucking, you know, drink alcohol and have a good time and listen to music and all that shit. I overthought it, but that's what made it a good time. I got to meet a whole bunch of different people, got to learn about a whole bunch of different experiences from people. I met this one girl, and this still fucking blows my mind to this day. But she was like, I'm like, so what's the craziest thing you've ever, like, what's the craziest thing you think you've ever done? Like, just give it to me hands off. And like, it wasn't anything sexual. It was just kind of like what have you been doing, you know? And she was like, I spent $1,000 US to go get dropped off on an iceberg from a helicopter.
Okay.
Literally. And that was the weirdest conversation I've ever had, because I didn't know how to respond to that, because I was like, I don't even know how to respond to that. Her dad was a lawyer, her mom was a doctor, and she was like a head of marketing of some startup company or something like that. So these guys are all like but I remember just asking her and being like, man, what's the craziest thing? And she was like, that's the craziest thing I've ever done.
Jesus.
But in that case, I got to learn a lot about just other people. And I think that's one of the great things about partying, especially now that we're older, we actually have the ability to know. You have the ability to make the situation whatever you may call it, like whatever you feel like you should be doing. But in that case, I was like, you know, I'm just going to open this to learning about people. So 80%, I let her talk about herself. And yeah, the one craziest story when I actually got to meet somebody, other than being like, oh, I started my own startup, this and that. She's like, I spent $1,000 US helicopter dropped me off in the middle of an
Oh, shit.
iceberg for an hour.
And then you just replied.
And then I'm like, God damn, I don't
want-
even have $1,000 in my bank account.
Fuck this. I laid in my puke once after.
Like, I'm like, you want to take a shot?
Like, fuck.
And but that was the best part. And like, realistically, I guess like in the overall concept is like, don't ever think it, but you make what it is. Like partying, don't feel like you have to meet a certain necessary standard in relation to like, you know, what your friends are doing or where you are in life or whatever it happens to be. Just
the point is to forget it when you're at these parties.
Exactly.
Just party.
Just party.
Catch up a little bit. Like, hey, how's life going? If it gets too deep for you, oh, hey, take this shot. I don't want to talk about that anymore. Did you listen to the new Kanye album? Great. How'd you like it? Party. That's
And
all.
it's not about comparison whatsoever. And I know that a lot of people be like, oh, I have regrets because I didn't do this when I was younger and I didn't meet enough girls when I was younger and this kind of shit. But it's like realistically, like part of partying in itself is just what you happen to make of it.
Right.
Enjoy it for what it is,
Right.
no matter what situation you happen to fall under.
Right.
We did speak about the worst of the worst that does happen to happen during parties, but overall partying is just fucking super hype.
Yeah.
Whatever you do. I don't know. I love it. I love partying.
Of
So
course you do.
that's just me.
Of course you do.
And everybody who knows me knows. So
All right. But I want to send a message to the introverts out there. Watch your drinking. I know I'm a bit of an introvert, so I watch my drinking because I know when I'm an introvert, because I noticed that introverts who drink, they like lose control, like they get crazy.
is that what it is?
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Wait a second. Would you consider me an introvert?
No, not now.
Okay.
I don't think you. No.
Sorry.
I
Go
consider
ahead.
myself an introvert 100%. I think that it takes a bit for me to get to know. Like when I'm comfortable with people, I'm fine, even like without alcohol and shit. But like, I really need to not get to know you, but at least like talk to you for a bit before I get to be myself around them. So yeah, when I'm like, if it's a room filled, if I go to a party tomorrow. Like even when I was at the FET and the freaking party that I mentioned near your university, I was quiet as fuck. I'm like, I'm not like talking to people or anything. I'm like sitting there like, fuck, what do I do? Like, fuck. Like I'm really out of my comfort zone at that point. So I'm just like, I'll drink like maybe like a beer or something and then get to know people. And then like as the party goes on, then we'll see how it goes. But if there's no alcohol involved and I'm like, I'm out of my comfort zone, yeah, it's going to be a terrible experience for me, for sure. But yeah, for you introverts out there, watch your liquor. Watch how you hold your liquor. Because you some crazy motherfuckers when you're drunk. And I don't want to be
You guys
around
holding some
yeah,
shit
man. Just
that
like
we don't know about.
Yeah, saying some wild ass shit, you know what I mean? Fuck. But yeah.
That falls into the concept of like being an introvert versus extrovert. I know that Western society happens to like bring that up a lot. Like, whether you're an introvert or whether you're an extrovert, how do you handle certain social situations kind of thing. So in this case, I don't consider myself an introvert, but it's like, how do introverts handle that aside from holding their liquor? Like what other tips can you happen to give? Maybe the introverts that happen to be listening, maybe going to their first party, been to their first couple of parties, never liked it. How do you approach a party as an introvert?
Go with people, that way you won't feel too alone and you won't have no clue how to proceed with talking to strangers. Definitely do that. If you do end up talking to a stranger, if a stranger approaches you, don't freak out about it. Why are you smiling when I say that?
I fucking love when shit like that happens, but that's just me. Sorry. I love approaching people, man. It's dope. It's all right. Go ahead.
All right. Yeah, but if people approach you, don't freak out over it. Don't make a big deal out of it. Just like, hey, how you doing? How was your day so far? Start off casual. Don't ask deep questions. Don't make a big deal out of it. Don't overthink anything. just relax, just be you. Just like, hey, they ask you a question, great. You ask them a question, cool. Don't ask them, too deep. Don't ask them too deep of a question. Or if you want, if that's you, that's fine. Um, just engage in conversation with them and just don't overthink it. Don't think that, just because, they're talking to you that, it's going to lead somewhere. Just, be friendly to one another and just go from there. And who knows, maybe you might be, partying or dancing with a person that may have the same taste as you. If one song plays, they'll be like, oh, I love this song. Oh shit, I love this song too. Let's go dance. Great. Boom. Introversion out, extroversion in. Let's go. Oh, I just remembered another party that I really enjoyed. Sorry, you introverts. You motherfuckers can wait for a sec. Yeah, you know what? Funny enough, they're talking about songs I don't like. It was a Halloween party. I think it was like my first year I started in the insurance company I worked at before. And it was a Halloween, it was at a club. I forget the name of the club, but all they played was rock music. And I'm like, I am not
Sick.
into rock music, obviously. And I'm like, okay, you know what? Fuck it. I'm not gonna let this. There's no way in hell I'm gonna repeat that birthday experience I had in the past. So I'm just like, I'm just gonna get hammered and do the best that I can. And I'm just remember just getting drunk, wasted. And it's like, fuck. And I'm like dancing to rock music songs, to songs I've never heard before, or like the mainstream rock songs. And I'm dancing with random strangers, and they're just like laughing, having a good time. And there's this one girl that's just like, "Oh my God, I love you. You're phenomenal." I'm like, "Thank you. I love you too. You're great." I haven't seen a girl since. I have no idea what happened that night. And one of the girls that I went to the party with was just like, "Carlos, I swear to God, if I wasn't single, you and me, we'd be
Cuddy rockin' knocking the boots.
you can be my cuddy buddy for sure." I'm like, really? Well, was that fun? Great.
See, that's the thing about parties is like aside from the what's known, it's the drinking, it's the dancing, all the kind of the obvious points that you happen to think about a party. It's like, oh, I have to talk to people, I have to do this and that. The outcomes that potentially happen to have or that happen to come out of that party, whether it is the aftermath, whether it's the relationships that you happen to build, whether it is the things that you learn about yourself. I think that's why I wanted to kind of talk about partying in general. Carlos, when we talked about being an introvert, Carlos is like, Ryan, I don't think you're an introvert now. And even just in the past tense, he was kind of like, oh, okay, maybe Ryan was an introvert at a certain point in time. But me growing up, going to these parties that were outside of my comfort zone, learning how to just be myself in that point in time is what created who I am now, kind of thing. So it's like all of the outcomes that have come out from me partying, all those parties where I knew one person and there was 100 other people that I had no idea who it was, I would go to. Challenging yourself to be able to kind of be put in a situation where you have no idea what's going on is what creates the best outcomes in relation to partying in general. So my end goal with this episode was not just, man, go out and find a drink that you like and hammer it down and fucking wine punny ting on everybody that you
eat our
possibly
dicks,
can.
suck our you hoe ass bitches.
It was find the outcomes that happen to come out of partying, where you learn from things, where you find yourself in a situation that you're not used to, adversity, be able to kind of be challenged in a certain point in time where you're not used to the situation that you're in. You learn about yourself a lot. The conversations that you happen to have with people can be long lasting conversations. Like some of the parties where I just knew the one person that invited me to this party, I got to have crazy conversations with people I've never met and have never seen ever again. And then sometimes you bump into them and you're like, holy shit, man, like I remember you, or I remember you, homegirl, like what are you saying? And then it becomes a friendship from that. So the things that kind of sprout from you putting yourself in those situations that you're not so comfortable with, which happens to be things like partying, especially for people our age, is huge.
Mm.
Absolutely huge. So it's kind of like if I were to say something, and I don't know if we're getting to time. I think we're pretty close.
How long?
I think we've been on like an hour and 20 minutes already.
That's fine.
But in this case, one thing I do want to say is don't forget about the things that could potentially sprout from putting yourself out there, getting into those odd situations, having those weird conversations, dressing weird, I don't know if you want to call it faking confidence, but it's like going in with no expectation, just kind of learning from the situation itself. Huge, because you come out a different person. And I think that I've evolved over the last couple of years by putting myself in the situations voluntarily, even though I was like, fuck, man, I feel stupid, awkward as fuck. Or, man, I don't feel good about the situation, but I go anyway. Those are the best nights because you happen to learn way more about yourself than you do keeping yourself in your own comfort. So that's what I gotta say. And that's probably what I would have saved for the final thoughts. And I think we should probably like get into the closure around here. But that is my final thought. I would say don't lose out on those small things because those small things mean everything eventually. And you learn a lot about yourself, which is the most important thing in life. Aside from partying, aside from your career or whatever like that, you are the most important person in this situation. Expand, learn, do what you need to do. Enjoy fucking partying because I do. And I would love to party with you, whoever's listening. So hit us up.
There's some dude in the alleyway watching this. It's like, oh, well, I'd like to party with you too, Ryan. Oh, Jesus.
But Carlos, tell us final thoughts. Sorry.
Don't do cocaine because that shit's overrated. Don't do heroin. That's like why. But watch your drinking. Party. If you're young, party as much as you can. Live fast, die young. Don't overdo the partying thing because it can get repetitive. Just do it every once in a while. That way it's special, like Christmas. You know what I mean? Only comes once a year, but when it comes, it's special. It's special. So party. Maybe try every other month. Go to a party if you're into that, or if you really like to party, try once a month. Don't do it so much because then it drains you. Yeah. Party hard, Wayne.
Give me one place in Toronto that you would recommend our listeners to go to. Give me one.
You know what? I had a good time at it for New Year's, and I hope this dude succeeds because he was a good time. Cold Tea.
Check it out.
It's a good place.
Unfortunately, they had a argument or a dispute with their landlord. They had two locations, one in the Kensington Market, which is where me and Carlos spent a lot of our time, some of our best times
in the city,
some of the best partying.
Yeah.
In relation to it, but they don't longer have that location. But please go check out their Instagram. Please go check out their other location. I don't think they're open at the moment, but I could have that wrong, and please correct me. But Cold Tea Toronto, I think their new location's on Queen Street.
Yeah.
Check them out. The owner, shout out to Oliver. He's a great dude.
Nice guy.
They do a great job of creating the atmosphere for 90s babies, at least for us. So definitely check that place out.
For sure.
I would say.
For sure.
Just before we go.
Oh.
I don't know if there's one thing that you want to recommend before we go. Something I wanted to recommend that I went over the last couple of days.
Really?
But I would like
what song I've been re-listening to this week? Best Man I Can Be. By Genuine and
Case,
RL and Tiny.
Yeah, that's a huge song.
Big song.
Everybody go listen to that song. I think it's on a movie album.
Best Man.
Best Man. It's actually
Check
a great song.
Very good song. I've been listening to it a lot this week. I don't know why, but
what do they call like a quad tret? with four guys talking, but they're not like a group, but they're like a
there's like a duet. I think they call it a posse cut.
A posse cut. Okay, perfect.
A posse cut. But yeah, check it out. It's actually a really good song.
Great song. Best man.
Good wedding music.
Oh yeah.
Something to consider for wedding music.
Or if you just love your boys.
Why do you have to? Now I'm gonna delete the song from the fucking. Do you have something to recommend?
One of the things, and I'm sure Carlos has probably seen this before, but I
Yeah.
never gave it a chance when I was younger. But the Ip Man series
Oh,
for
you
fucking.
watched it, man?
I watched every single one of them.
God
I
damn.
literally okay. So I was sitting at home, and for those who don't know, I'm really close to my grandpa. My grandpa, we sit there and do all kinds of shit together.
Wow.
So we watched the very first Ip Man together, and he was like, "That movie was hype."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Yo, I know." So then I watched the next three, and sorry, Grandpa, but I didn't watch it with you. But I watched the next three over the next day. So I finished 4 movies, Ip Man 1 all the way to 4.
Damn.
That is the sickest shit
Yeah.
I've seen in a long time because I
Oh,
love
wow.
Jackie Chan movies. I love Jet Li movies.
Damn.
Bruce Lee. And for those who don't know who Ip Man is, he was like the teacher of Bruce Lee. And we're not going to get into this because we can go to a whole fucking history of it. But all of the Ip Man movies, go fucking watch that because it's so good.
Damn.
It really brings down the philosophy of who like Bruce Lee is and like where the history comes from, and supposedly all of it's true. I don't know.
I don't know if the fight scenes are true, but like the story.
Oh, but the
like,
story.
I mean, the story.
It came from like his journals.
Yes.
So Ip Man is like the head fucking chef of like this certain kung fu style, and he teaches Bruce Lee. And everybody, I'm hoping listening knows who Bruce Lee is, and if you don't, please DM
You're too
me
young,
because I will definitely give you some sort of information on Bruce Lee. But he's the teacher of Bruce Lee. But yeah, no, super hype. Please go watch those if you can. If you like old school Chinese fighting movies, it was great. So definitely that's the one thing I remember.
Yeah. But you do. If you like martial arts flicks, you should check out The Raid Redemption. I don't know if it's too violent. I don't know if it's too violent. It's one of the best martial art flicks I've ever seen in my life. I'm not even exaggerating. It is fucking. It's not even. I don't even know if it's considered. Well, there obviously is martial arts in it, but it's like action and like it's fucking phenomenal. One of the best movies I've ever seen in my life.
I'll have to go check that out.
Definitely check it out. But yes, partying, folks, please. You know, go in there to have a good time. Don't overthink it. And whatever you do, and I cannot stress this enough, whatever party you go in there with, please do not wear anything that will address your political views for said party. Because no one needs to talk about that. Just have a good time.
Have a good time.
That's all. Fuck you, AOC, for fucking bringing all that shit. No, fuck it. We have to tell her. Listen, why are you doing this to the rich? What did the rich do to you? No, I'm kidding. AOC, if you're listening, or if you do listen, I love you and you're a very attractive woman. And I wish to go out to dinner with you sometime. Maybe even not dinner, maybe even, go to have coffee or something. And you can address your problems with the rich and whatnot. But yeah. Shoo up. But that is about it. I guess I'm done. I'm out of topics. Nothing else for you. That being said, then, well, hey, I'm Carlos.
And I'm Ryan.
And this is The Blank with Carlos and Ryan. And as we say at the end, fill it in. Fill it in.
Dope.
Fill it in.